Hey guys, congratulations on your session. You just booked your first session or second session, perhaps. But if you're watching this video, it's as likely your first session. My returning clients already know what to expect, but I did want to make a video to kind of give you an idea about hypnosis, clear up some misconceptions, because I know a lot of people have these misconceptions about what it is, what it isn't. We're gonna go through it. So I wanted to make this video, like I said, to kind of go over some things of what you might want to expect in a session, but also because I usually initially was doing this whole talk at the beginning of all my sessions, but I noticed it would be a lot easier for me to just make a prep video so that you can have everything beforehand. And that way, when we're in your actual session, we have more time to spend on the actual hypnosis part of the session. So I like to keep the beginning very brief. I don't need a whole lot of information. I don't need a whole lot of information to know your life, right? I don't need a whole lot of information rather to help you. But I do want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what hypnosis is and then how you might experience it. So I'm going to go over some of those things, actually all of those things, and just so we have an understanding and we're on the same page. So again, congratulations on booking your session. If you're seeing this video, that means that you have confirmed your session. That means that you've not only booked your session, you signed the client confirmation, or rather the client agreement form. And this is attached to the confirmation video or confirmation email to follow up with for your session. So some things that I want to go over first off. A lot of people, like I said, have misconceptions about what hypnosis is. Okay, so let's clear up what that is right now. Um, if you've had hypnosis before, you may have had different experiences with it. I don't know. Depends on who you went to, what their training was, all that stuff, how much training they had, etc. I'm not gonna judge nobody. I don't know their life like that. So, but anywho, if you had hypnosis before, you might have an idea of what it is. Some people think that hypnosis is when you're asleep. They think that when you're in hypnosis that you're in mind control. They think that when you're in hypnosis, like you can get stuck in hypnosis. And it is nothing of the sorts. Nothing, none of those things are true. When you're in hypnosis, you are fully awake, fully aware of everything that's happening around you, inside the room, outside the room. You are in so much control that you can literally sit up, open your eyes, and say, I don't want to do this shit no more. But you're probably not going to want to do it because you'll be a very relaxed state. I like to define hypnosis as a focused state of relaxation where we will be looking for the cause or the origin of a particular issue that you want me to help you with during your session. The cause can be found in either a childhood memory or a past life. Exactly where we'll go during your session and find that cause, I don't know until you get there. And then you start telling me what's happening. And that lets me know this is from their current life or something from another life, past life. Um, Either way, yes, the session does include past life regression, but it is not the focus of the session. Again, the focus of the session is to find the origin or the cause of the issues that you want me to help you with. So, yeah, we'll be doing past life regression in this session, but I also find that some of my clients go through childhood memories where they find the cause of their issues. Either way, when we find that cause of your issue, we will explore it. And just to see exactly what's going on with that issue, and then I'll help you to resolve it so that you leave feeling a lot better and more clear on what's happening in your life. Um, what else do we want to talk about? Okay, so what hypnosis is, what it isn't. So I cleared up some things about what it isn't. Talking about is not being sleep, not being mind control. Another thing that is not is like the sunken place. Some people think that's like the sunken place. I don't understand that, but they do. You know, Hollywood, they got to make it exciting. So um, you can't get stuck in hypnosis. You know, you're not going to be in a position where you will be out of control, not have any control over yourself or your body. You can literally leave out information that's, that things that you're experiencing, and I wouldn't know. And I just say that to express to the extent that you are in control over what you do, what you say. You can literally just leave out information and not tell me exactly what's happening. I wouldn't know because I don't have those gifts. Like I don't. So as I said before, if you are or when you're in hypnosis, you'll be in complete control. You'll be aware of everything, all of your surroundings around you. If someone starts to, let's say, mow the lawn outside your window, you'll be aware of that. You'll be aware that you're in your bed or on your couch in a session with me, talking to me through the entire time. You will be talking the entire time through your session. So there's no way you can be sleeping if I'm asking you questions and you have to answer it. So again, you won't be asleep. You'll be fully awake and aware of everything that's happening. It is normal to remember your session. Okay. I want you to remember all of your sessions. So don't think that because you don't remember everything, or excuse me, that you remember everything, that you weren't deep enough. Because you don't need to be as deep as you think you need to be to experience what you need to experience, get the information or clarity you need, get the possible healing that you might have in your session. Like you don't need to be as deep as you think you need to be. Okay. It is my job to get you to where you need to be, right? So that you can receive those things that you're looking for in your session today. Um, I'll also say there is, however, a small percentage of the population, maybe 2-3% of the population, who, when they go in hypnosis, they remember absolutely nothing to the point where they will literally think that they were sleeping, and they're embarrassed because they think that, or they know that when they sleep they snore or they drool, and they think that I've been watching them snore and drool for the past 2 to 3 hours, and that just wasn't the case. So, and they literally don't believe me until I show them the video of their we were talking this entire time. So again, that's a very small percentage of the population, 2 to 3% of the population. Exactly where you will fall on that scale, if you remember or you don't remember, I have no idea. Until after the session, you can tell me I remember something, I remember a little bit, or I don't remember shit. You can tell me. But keeping in mind, everybody does experience hypnosis differently. That is very important for you to understand. So someone else's experience with hypnosis is not going to be like yours. Another thing is, if you've ever seen any of my videos, my recommendation to you is to forget what you've seen. And I say that because a lot of people will watch my videos, and then there's, of course, will resonate with one or two, but then they start to think that, oh, maybe my session will be like that, and it's like, no, your session will be nothing like that person's. You don't even know what the issue that person was in that whole session. Like all you saw was a particular piece of that past life or a spirit attachment, and that was that. But you don't understand what the reason for that session was or what was going on with that person. Their life is completely different from yours. I don't care how many things that you guys are going through that um, might be similar. You are two different souls, two different experiences. Just like no two fingerprints are alike, no two souls are alike. So your experiences are going to be differently, not just in the world, but also in the hypnosis session. So again, like I said, everybody experiences it differently. And I'm going to go over some of those ways that you might experience hypnosis in a second. Me particularly, I experience hypnosis in all the ways I'm going to share with you in a moment. But again, you may only experience it in one of these ways. You might experience it in a combination of these ways, or I have no idea how you might experience it, but this is just to give you an idea of what's possible and how you might receive your information and how it comes through. So I'll talk a bit more about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind in a second, but I want to go over some of the ways that you might experience hypnosis. So the first way that you might experience hypnosis is through having very vivid mental images in your mind's eye. Okay. Again, because your eyes will be closed, you will not be seeing with your physical eyes. We're not using that. Like that, the physical eyes bring none of that. Okay. You're not going to be seeing that. How can you see with the eyes closed? Exactly. So we're going to be using that mental eye, the third eye, so to speak. You might receive mental images in your mind's eye, very similar to when you daydream. So if you've ever been one of those people, right, who might have been just like thinking about something that occurred, right, and you're playing out a scene in your head about how that thing occurred, or you might be thinking about how something might occur in the future, and so you're playing that out in your mind, and you're staring off into space, so to speak, right? And this, as you're staring off into space, you're literally looking at this image that's playing out in your mind. And then, of course, once you're done with that, you snap out of it, and then you look up, and then you realize, oh shit, I've been staring at this person the whole time and they think I'm crazy and they're looking at me like I'm crazy because I've been staring at them and I didn't even realize it. So the same way that you weren't aware of that you were staring to at that person because you were um, focused on this mental image that was playing out in your mind, very much similar to how you might see images in hypnosis. Okay. It could appear as a little video clip or a still photo or a flash of a photo. Any way that you might receive images, it can appear in that way, but as a mental image in your mind's eye. Okay. Now, the second way that you might experience hypnosis is through having a very strong knowing. You'll just know what's happening, right? So you might be at, let's say, if you're in a scene of a past life, right? You might feel like um, I'm at a park, or I'm walking with my friend, or um, I'm having a baby, I'm getting married, or whatever. This person is angry with me because I betrayed them. You'll just know. You'll have a very strong knowing of what's occurring right now or at that time. Um, the other way is through having thoughts pop into your mind, right? So you might say, when I ask you a question, you might say, I'm hearing this or I'm hearing that. However it comes to you, it could come to you in one of those ways, either through the images, through the knowing, through the thoughts that pop into your mind. Again, everybody doesn't experience it the same way. Excuse me. Some people might experience it in one of those ways, two of those ways, and some people might experience it in all of those ways. Which way particular that you experience it, again, I don't know until after the session. You tell me. This is how I experience it. But just remember that, keep that in mind, that there's going to come a time in your session where I'm going to start asking you questions, and for you to just trust what happens, what information that comes, whatever, however it is, subconscious mind decides to feed it to you. Trust it, trust it, trust it, trust that information that it feeds you, because there's this thing called our critical conscious analytical mind, right? This is the critical conscious analytical mind, right? Right? That critical conscious analytical mind, the thinking mind that likes to figure everything out, that when it's not sure about something or whatever, just that analytical thinking mind that I'm talking to right now, right? That analytical thinking part that I'm talking to right now. When we get in the session, I don't want to talk to or see that part of you. Okay. You will not be in the session thinking of an answer when I ask you a question. We ain't doing that. You will not be thinking of a question, excuse me, of an answer. Okay. You will allow your subconscious mind. Okay. Let's say it's subconscious mind. Allow that subconscious mind to feed you the information in one of those ways, whether it be through the images, the thoughts, or the knowing, right? The subconscious mind is a place where you store all of your past memories and experiences from this life, past life, etc. Right? The subconscious mind, when in hypnosis, will feed it to you in one or a combination of those ways. When it feeds it to you, it is very important that you trust what it is giving you, because there's going to be that critical analytical part of the mind there. It's going to be present. It'll be in the background, right? Watching everything, it's kind of observing what's happening. But that critical analytical, like, I don't need hypnosis to talk to that critical analytical part of you, right? But I do need hypnosis to tap into that subconscious mind to access those memories and experiences where everything is stored. So when I tap into that and the subconscious starts sending you information, trust it. Trust however it coming to you. I don't care how crazy it sounds. I don't care if it just don't make no sense. If it just it's impossible. I don't care if you think you're making it up. Especially if you think you're making it up. I don't care. Trust what it's trust what it's telling you. Because if you start allowing this critical analytical conscious part of you to start thinking you're making it up and you're trying to figure out what's happening and you're like, I don't understand this, doesn't make any sense. What's going to happen is the subconscious mind is going to say, oh, okay, well, I guess you got this figured out. I'm gonna head out. It's gonna it's gonna head out to the point where whatever information that was feeding you is gonna go poof, right? And then you're gonna say, nothing's happening. I don't understand. And I'm gonna say, because I will know, I'm gonna say, because you're allowing that part of you to interfere. Now, I don't want this to scare you, right? I will help you. If I see you having a hard time, I will help you and I will know. I'll help you. But again, this is not mind control, so I cannot do it for you. And if you feel like, Neoshi, I need some help, I'm struggling here a little bit, just let me know. I'll help you. But again, this is not mind control, so I cannot do it for you. So the key, again, is just trusting what information comes to you in whatever way it comes to you. Do not let that conscious, analytical, critical part of your mind start to interfere, where it starts to make you doubt what you're experiencing and what you're seeing or feeling in thoughts or whatever, however it comes to you. Because if you do, that part, that critical analytical conscious part, will fuck up your whole session. The more this part is involved, the longer your session takes and we get nowhere. And the less you'll get out of it. So again, trusting that subconscious analytical, excuse me, that subconscious part where the experiences are stored, trusting that part is very crucial. Trusting it wholeheartedly, because the more you trust it, it's going to say, oh, okay, cool. Well, let me give you a little bit more since you can handle that. And it's going to literally flood your subconscious, going to flood you with more information, more information. And the more it feeds you, the more you'll experience, the more you'll get out of your session and the better your session will be. So again, trust that part of you, whatever, however way your subconscious decides to send it to you best, however it'll best think that you understand it, it's going to send it to you in that way. Trust it, trust it, trust it. I don't want you, again, I don't want you thinking of an answer. I don't want you trying to figure nothing out. Let me do that. I will be your thinking mind during hypnosis. I will be piecing together the pieces. Okay. Because let me tell you something. When you go, if let's say if you go to a childhood memory, we have no issues piecing that together, right? Like not even piece, like we just remembering, like we know what that is. We can tell you what happened in our childhood with our eyes open and closed, right? But when it comes to a past life, something you've never seen before and aren't even aware of, you're like, what the hell is this going on? And it's easy to let that critical analytical part of you start to question and doubt and try to figure out shit. Don't do that. So when it comes to that time, and you're in that past life, trust it, trust it, trust it wholeheartedly. Trust it, trust it, trust it, trust it. I literally want you to be like that nosy neighbor, right? That always telling everybody business, right? Looking out the window. Oh, child, did you see Rebecca? She just walked in the house with a man. He got on a blue skirt, a shirt, some high heels, and she got on a polka dot bandana. I don't, whatever. I don't care how crazy it sounds. Just tell me, just say, this is what I'm seeing, or this is what's coming to me, or well, however it comes to you, just report it to me. Just report. Don't think about it. Don't figure it out. Don't, none of that. Because again, the more you use that part of your mind, the less your subconscious is going to feed you. Um, Again, trust it wholeheartedly. Just trust how it comes to you and whatever way that it comes to you. Um, the thing with past lives, and which is why you're trying to figure out what's going on, is because you don't, in a past life, it's very rare for you to like drop in at the beginning of that life to see the events. If you do drop in the beginning, it won't be like, oh, I'm coming out of my mom's womb. It's not gonna be like that. It might be when you're like 2 or 3 or something like that, very small age. Or more than often, it usually starts at the end of that life, maybe in the death scene, or it could drop in right there in the middle of that life. You can drop in literally at any time period in that life. It does not, it doesn't necessarily have to be, and it won't necessarily be chronological order. Because sometimes if you drop in at the end of that life, and let's say you have, it shows the first scene is your death, I'll go backwards to find out what happened to you prior in that life. What was that life about? What was the purpose of that life? So we'll jump around. Sometimes we'll jump backwards. Sometimes we'll jump forward. It just depends on where we are and what information we're trying to get. So again, that's why this is so important for you to just trust what comes to you and let me piece it together. You'll see by the end of that life, oh, okay, now I see. Because I guarantee you, I promise you, when you first get in there, that first thing, that past life, none of it is going to make sense. You're not going to know what the hell's going on. I don't know what this is. Don't worry about it. Just allow yourself to just share, just report what's happening. And we will, at the end, if you want to talk about it later, once we're done and analyze it, we can do that. But while we're going through it, please, please, please just report back what's happening. Um, again, I like to spend most of my time on the actual hypnosis part of the session. So sometimes our sessions, they run longer than the 2 3 hours that the session typically is. And if you're able to just report the information to us, the shorter your session will be. We won't have like no 4 or 5 6 hour session unnecessarily. So just trusting it wholeheartedly what happens, and share it with me, and then I promise you, you will have an amazing session. You will get so much out of it, and the more you'll experience more, you'll be able to experience more the more you trust what you're given. So I think that pretty much covers everything. Um, there is also another PDF that I have attached to that email that you received. It's additional prep information for the session. Some of it is some of the things that I've already gone over with you in this session, excuse me, in this video. Um, but I highly encourage you to, look through that as well. Um, it's about, I think maybe a page or two. It's not a lot. Um, there's also a checklist attached to that email, things that you need. I want you to go through that as well to make sure you have everything you need for the session and you're ready. And then there's also in that checklist list, there is a section where you will be able to, rather than a session, there's a part of the session where you're able to ask your spirit guides, ancestors, higher self, whoever decides to step forward to answer questions for you. But you have an opportunity to ask up to 15 questions of what I call burning questions, which is really any question that you've been struggling with, any issue in life that you have been struggling with outside of the primary issue that you're having a session for. Any issue that you may have stayed awake at night wondering about, or worried about, or like literally any question. No question is off limits. It can be anything from what is my purpose to am I in alignment with my purpose? What career is aligned with my purpose? It can be things about family, right? Um, how do I mend this relationship with this person? Or it could be about love life. Should I stay with this person? Should I move on? Have my time with this person had its run? Or um, any love questions, any family questions, things about finances, where you live, if you should move, things like literally any question. It can be about this life. It can also be about stuff of past life. If I've had a past life with this person or that person, or um, it can also be about things, paranormal experiences maybe that you've had before that you've always wondered about, whether it be from something from childhood or more recently, or dreams, that recurrent dreams that you've having. Literally any question. I'm kind of going through some things to kind of hopefully stir your juices, but you can ask any question. Literally, no question is off limits, right? I had some people ask me things such as, or want to know things as, when am I going to die? And I hate asking those questions. I'm like, listen, first of all, I can tell you right now, you're not going to get an answer to that. They never answer those questions. The few times I did ask those questions, they were like, you worried about the wrong thing. She worried about the wrong thing. Next question. So you won't get an answer. And I hate asking the question, but if I feel like, this person is just really struggling, they want to know, blah, 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 for whatever reason, I will ask. But just know you ain't gonna get no answer. Um, excuse me. What else? I think that pretty much covers everything that I want to share with you before your session. But um again, if you have any questions about anything in this video that I've talked about, or if you're a bit confused about anything or whatever, any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email them to me at neoshihypno@gmail.com, or you can just hold them, jot them down, and hold them to our session on the day of our session, and you can ask me then. But again, when we meet, I'm gonna talk to you briefly. I'm gonna make sure you watch this video. If you ain't watched this video, it's gonna take away some time from your session. I'm just letting you know. I'm supposed to let you know, but watch this video. I'm gonna make sure you watch this video, and Then we're going to get some information from you about key people who are in your life. So if they come up during the session, I'll know who they are. And then I'm going to ask you some questions as well that might sound like I'm being nosy. I promise you're not being nosy. It's for a reason. But if you're curious as to why I want to know, just ask me and I'll tell you why. Other than that, after that, we're going to go over those 15 questions that you put together. You can send those 15 questions to me via email. I would like to have them a day prior would be great. So that time I can kind of jot them down before your session. Again, that would save more time for us to allow us to focus on the hypnosis part of the session. And then after I jot down those 15 questions that you emailed me the day before, right? Then I will jump into the hypnosis part of the session. So again, I like to keep the beginning of it very brief. I don't need to know your whole life to help you, but I do need some very key information to have an understanding of who you are and what's happening. So again, if any questions, feel free to send me an email or hold those questions for your actual session date. I'm really excited to meet you and to talk with you and to help you with your issue. And I want to thank you for trusting me to guide you through this whole process, this whole journey. It is a pleasure. I am very blessed and very grateful to be able to do this work in this way. I like to say this is God's work. So whether you are Christian, Muslim, whatever you want to call yourself, I respect whatever ideologies that you have. We work within your belief system. So if you are Christian, we work with Jesus, whoever you want to speak to. We, if you are someone who's more of a spiritual person, awesome. We work within that as well, where you deal with the higher self and spirit guides and things of that nature. I am one who does not push on my own personal beliefs on anyone. I believe that we all have our own path. And so I'm doing this work to help you with whatever that path is. But know that I am a very spiritual person. However, I will work within your spiritual beliefs as well. So, yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. Any other questions, y'all? Hit me up, and I'm excited to meet you. See y'all soon. Peace.